Hey there everybody, Tony Porter, Cards and Dice TV, and this is Sports Illustrated Baseball. We are playing opening day 1970 Mets at Bucs, and the Mets have been a offensive juggernaut. They scored 4 runs in the first, and then they scored 5 runs in the fifth against Steve Blass. He was relieved by Bruce Dalcanton, and ever since then the Mets bats have been silenced. For the Pirates, they've only scored 3 runs, and Willie Stargell had a lot to do with those. He tripled home run and homered, hit a solo shot. So it's Seaver still in there for the Mets, and he'll be facing Clemente, Stargell, and Oliver. And let's do it. First, we're going to check Seaver. That's a 30 and under 41 because that's his number is a green. So now we're going to go to Clemente. Clemente was number 21. So I will be looking at that number. We rolled again, and it's a 35 under 21, and that is a strikeout. So the second time that Clemente strikes out against Seaver. Here's Willie Stargell, and Stargell has a triple and a home run. So he's hit Seaver hard. See what happens. And that is a 31, 41-31, and that is a, oh no, not a strikeout. It's just a blank, and that's going to take us to Willie Stargell, who is number 8. And we roll a 24, and a 24 is going to be a base hit single. So the line's a single to right, and there are runners on first base and 1 out, bottom of the 8th. Al Oliver. That is a 10, which is just a roll on the batter. So Oliver's 16. So that's a 35 on 16. 35 on 16, and that is a ground ball with a star, and a ground ball with a star means ground out, batter out, and all runners advance 1 base. So bouncer to the infield, and the runner goes to second with 2 outs, and here comes Ali. He is 14, but first we got to go to Seaver. We roll a 33. 33 is a blank or a green, which tells us to go to the batter. So now we're going to go to Ali, and that is a 25 on Gene Alley, and that is going to be a base hit single. So that may score a run here because it's got a 1 and a dagger. A 1 and a dagger is going to be single, runners on second base scores. So it's 9-4 now, and it's an RBI single for Gene Alley. And here comes Manny Sanguin. It's a 34 off Seaver, and a 34 will be a blank. So we're going to go to Sanguin. Sanguin's number is 35. And that is a 36 on 35, and that's a fly ball. Center field, Agee under it, and that retires the side. But 1 run on 2 hits, and it's 9-4 now. All right, we go to the top of the 9th inning. And the Mets become the batters. They're facing Dalcanton is still in there. And then Dalcanton is the pitcher for the Pirates. There we go. All right, let's do it. This is Tom Seaver. And that's a 38 on a 27. That is going to be an X. I'm going to roll that again because there's nobody on base. So that is a 12, and that is going to be a ground ball out. 1 down. Next batter is Tommy Agee with a 33, and that is going to be a blank. So we're going to go to Agee, whose number is 20. And Agee has a 3-run homer today. He's got a single and a 3-run homer. And that is a 32 on 20, and that it's a fly ball center field. And that is Matty Alou, I believe it is. 2 outs, and here's Buddy Howson. That's a 21, and that's a blank. Buddy Harrelson's a 3. That's the column we use. It's a 20, and that's a base hit. Low ground ball up the middle and through. So that is Buddy Harrelson's 4th hit of the game. Next up is Foy with a 36, and that's a blank. So we're going to go to Foy, who is number 5. So we look at column 5, and it's a 24, which is a base hit. So runner will stop at second, first and second. And up comes Jones. Cleon Jones has got 3 hits today. So this has been a hitting, the Mets have been a hitting machine today. They really lit up the scoreboard with 9 runs and a ton of hits. So here's a pitch to Jones, and that's a 21, and 21 is a blank. So we're going to go to Jones, and Jones is number, got to memorize all the numbers, is a 21. So we'll see what happens. And that's a 21 on 21, and that's going to be a ground ball. Right back to Dal Canton, throws him out, and that retires aside. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left, and we go to the bottom of the 9th. Tom Seaver going for a complete game victory here. So let's flip this over to batting against right-handed pitching. And we grab Tom Terrific's numbers. There we go. Let's do it. Bottom of the 9th, 9-4. Mets. Read the black first. It's a 3 and a 4. It's a 34, and that just misses being a strikeout. A 35 is a strikeout. So remember, oh wait, we need a pinch hitter here. I just noticed that. I will be a pinch hitter, and that will be Jose Pagan. So here's Pagan. Pagan is number 11. There we go. And it's a 33, and that is a base. No, it's a ground ball. Hit hard right at the shortstop. So 1 away. Next up is Dave Cash. Here's a pitch from Seaver. A 26, and that is a blank. We go to Cash, who is number 30. And that's a 38. You add the 2 white ones. I don't know if you can see that. There he goes. So that's a 3 and an 838. And that is a ground ball for out number 2. Mets are 1 out away from victory here, opening day. And it's going to be Alu. Pitch from Seaver. 26. And it's a blank. So we're going to go to Alu, who is 18. There we go. Oh, that's a 12. That is an automatic out because of Mets defense, and that will be the ball game. So that is my first complete Sports Illustrated game ever, and I'm glad the Mets were able to win. Let me just add up how many hits. The Mets had 9 runs, but how many hits? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 hits. No errors. The Pirates had 4 runs on, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits, and no errors. So that's my first game ever of Sports Illustrated baseball. It was fun. It was pretty easy. You can get this game for free, actually. You go to Delphi and Delphi Tabletop Sports, I think it's called. And there's a link there where or you can reach out to me and I'll get it to you. The creator of a bunch of cards and charts kind of released them to the general public as just an offering of goodwill towards the hobby. So I will be using cards as well in the future when I play this. but I had a blast. So this is has a lot of cool charts with a lot of colors, so it's very visually appealing. This is really the main batter's legend and the pitcher's legend. This tells you what the results on the cards are. They're pretty, obvious, because the result on the chart will say SF, so you know that's a fly ball. There's some things you just have to learn and memorize a little bit, but it's pretty obvious. It has the batter legend and the pitcher legend. Team defense is a little bit like APA, where you add up all the defensive players, and then it gives you a number, and then those numbers are going to be outs. The better the defense, the more outs you get. This is what I traded for this, by the way. And manager's decision charts. This gives you a few different decisions to make here. Let me show you what that looks like. You got the second base steal chart, the sacrifice bunt chart, the suicide squeeze chart, the third base chart, the home steal chart, special situation chart, and the manager's decision chart to take an extra base. And here are the game rules. This is what those look like. Game rules, just 3 pages. It's just really one trifold, really. There's not much. They teach you a little bit about baseball. And then these are the unique dice. They're not just any dice. They're special dice. They go 1 to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's no 6. There's no 6 on these. So that's the deal. And you add these 2 up, and then you read this one as the first die. And you add the 2 white dies. It's got some score sheets, which I used one already. Kind of pretty cool score sheet. Gives you a lot of space. And this is what your team trifold looks like. This is the New York Mets. It gives you your roster of players. It only comes with 20 players, Then it gives you a ballpark. Shows you the ballpark. Gives you a little bit of history on top of what happened with the team that year. It's the batting against left-handed pitchers. So if your team is batting against left-handed pitchers, here would be your team, and you would use this side. If you're batting against right-handed pitchers, it's on this side. If the pitcher bats versus lefty or righty, you would read the center for the pitcher batting. And it goes by the column is the number of the player. Each player has an individual column with the results based on his actual stats. And then, of course, these are the dice rolls. They can be anything from 10 to 39. And that, I believe, is the whole game, the whole kit and caboodle. Starting pitcher's charts. This is where you read your results from your pitcher. You first roll for your pitcher. You look at the result. And if there's no result, you go to the batter. And this reminds me a little bit of on-base baseball, that it's kind of designed a little bit like that, where the pitching chart is pretty much blank, just has a couple of changes, and then most of the results come off the batter chart. So it reminds me a little bit of on-base baseball, which is on my channel constantly, and I will be showing it again. I will be playing it again, maybe today or tomorrow or the weekend. I'm not sure. So anyway, this is Tony Porter, Cards and Dice. I hope you like the mini reveal, I guess, of this game that I traded for a while back, and it's just kind of been sitting on my shelf, and I was in the mood to try something a little bit different. And I did, and it was okay. Mets won, so I got to have another game and kind of get a feel, because this was a pretty high-scoring game, 25 hits, 13 runs. So let's hopefully we can play another game, and it will be more of a pitcher's duel. Let's see what happens. Tony Porter, I'll see you later.